Om Asatu Ma Sadgamaya Tamasho Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityur Ma Amritangamaya Avir Maidhi Rudro Yatte Dakshinang Mukham Te namang pahi nityam, te namang pahi nityam. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light and illumination. Lead us from death to immortality. And evermore reach us through and through our self and protect us from ignorance by your sweet and compassionate face. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Today our topic is stress management. Very popular topic, though I don't know much how to manage the stress, but still it is good to spend some time on this very important topic in which we are all familiar. We are much familiar about this stress issue, and we get stressed, we lose our sleep, we get to high blood pressure, and all the reactions in the physical body, emotional body. Of course, intellectual body dies away by that time. Our real self goes away somewhere, probably in the deepest darkness, as if it has no existence at all. So this is an important thing to think about that. So, if we spend some time, it is better. The definition of stress, according to physics, the definition is when a material is loaded with force, it produces stress, which then causes a material deformation. So a force, when it is loaded with something which is a force, and it produces stress in the metal and it gets deformed. We so far know the material world works in this way. But here is a big understanding that our mind is also matter. Some may agree, may not agree, but at this point we will have to agree, as the physical part of the force changes and deforms the object. So some stress, external force, affects our mind, and it deforms our mind, clouds our mind, our understanding, and makes us forget about our own dignity and our own real self. Engineering standpoint, the engineering strain, this strain is defined as the amount of deformation in the direction of the applied force. You apply force in one direction, and the deformation, how it goes, divided by the actual object as it was. That means this change is the stress, this division. So we know this is the physical world works like that. You take a bar and put some heavy load on the middle, it gets deformed, it gets twisted, it becomes a circular. You can make a circular thing, you can make it triangular, you can do anything. It deforming the real self into something else. Putting some force, putting some energy from outside, the material thing can be changed in this way according to our own choice. And that creates stress for the metal or the material on which this force is applied. Similarly, the same thing happens in our mental condition and in our health condition. Health science talks about that. Stress is, what is stress? According to them, any demand placed on your brain or physical body, that is the stress. Anything demanding is placed on our mind and our physical body, that is called stress. Physical body can take certain load. If you stress it, make it work hard, and it gets tired, then it is not in its own shape. So you feel strained. I am very strained today. In the same way, when it is placed in your brain, thinking, your emotions, then you get stressed. People can report feeling stressed when multiple competing demands are placed on them, according to their definition, according to health science. When multiple competing demands are pushed on the mind, then one can feel stressed. That's why I do not know how to handle this. So many things are at a time. Which direction to go? That's our real experience in life. The feeling of being stressed can be triggered by an event that makes you feel frustrated or nervous. Certain incident, certain event can trigger in us that stress, and you can feel the frustration and the nervousness. Anxiety also comes as a result of this stress, is a feeling that's a feeling of fear, feeling of worries, and uneasiness. So these are the definitions given by Google. Not by me. But it is so true. If we just try to understand what happens in our life, really we can find some understanding about this stress issue, that how it is generating anxieties, worries, and sense of being lost, as if the whole world has crumbled into dust. When suppose one person is frustrated or stressed out among 100 people, for 100 people the day is a beautiful day, sunny day, what a beautiful day, beautiful weather, everything is sparkling with joy. Standing in between that environment, one person feeling, I am stressed, I am strained, I do not know what to do. So the question is that, yes, external impact is there, and that can affect our mind. Shall we be subject to that stress, or can overcome it? There's a beautiful statement. A professor in the Department of Physics and Medicine, Margaret Nosek, she says that tension and stress are the two greatest threats to peace of mind in this modern world. They say it need not have to be quoted by big guys or big scientists. It is a phenomenon we see in our life, that how much stress we carry unnecessarily. We think that we will change the whole world, and the whole responsibility of the world is in my hand, so I will have to manage. But pressure is so much, I cannot bear. So I get stressed out and I get frustrated, and I sometimes go to mental hospital. taking the load of the whole world. So this is a fact that tensions and stress, these are the two things, the greatest threat of mental peace. We want peace. We want joy. We want to live in happiness. Environment may be sometimes favorable, may not be. But for that reason, we should not give up our inner peace and joy and be stressed out, be cowed down. We are human beings. There is the greatest hope in us. Swami Vivekananda, today I will talk in the light of Swami Vivekananda's thoughts. He does not give any value to this. This happened. But we have the inner potentiality. And the glory of human life is to transcend that. Controlling nature, external and internal and external. Swamiji says, in his famous statement, each soul is potentially divine. And goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Those who beat a drum about, oh, I am stressed because somebody has done something, somebody looks at me, somebody tells something, ha ha ha, and I go and cry and weep. There is no solution in it. You can go on crying and weeping, life after life. No one cares. But you can take this courage, what Swami Vivekananda said. It is to control the nature. This is the external nature. I am giving liberty to the external nature to take possession over me. I am giving that freedom. See what Vivekananda lifts us in just one, satellite launching. Pushes us up to look at a vaster dimension of life. Life is to master this external nature. Life is to master this internal nature. Crying and weeping and making the world miserable and blaming the whole world does not solve the problem. If you want to solve the problem, then we'll have to think that this is the fact. And this is the testing ground. It is there. No one is denying that. But you are receptive of that and you want to be cowed down, you want to be stressed out. It is your choice. But human personality, there is such potentiality one can come out of it. So, that's a beautiful statement, is it? That depression has become the epidemic of our age. This is a statement by one of the famous professors. So here we find that, I will go for another beautiful statement, that even our Steve Jobs, the co-founder of our inventor of Apple, what he says, your time is limited. So don't waste living someone else's life. He's not a Vedantic. He's not talking from the Upanishadic statement. What he's saying by his own experience. He's saying we waste our life living in someone else's thought and someone else's ideas, and we think that we are such as people talk about us. So his suggestion, don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. What other people thinking about you, or you are projecting in your mind other people are thinking. So that is making you and me stressed out. If you know what is me inside, you live in your own dignity. What it matters, people talk high about you or blame you. So that is the character. What Swami Vivekananda talks about character. Here Steve Jobs is saying, don't let the noise of others' opinion drown out your own inner voice. as if we are listening Vedanta, no? Those who have faced these challenges, it is their voice. They have gone to success level to the highest, facing these things. If the sincerity is here, what is in you, you are sincere, you are pure in your heart, you know what you are, let the people do, say whatever. Why you are absorbing that and taking into your life and making your life stressful and strained? I can't sleep because he said, how he can say about me they're like this? 2 days I cannot sleep. I cannot believe that people can do like that. Hurry? Why you are taking that premises? Why don't you take that premises? World will abuse you, talk bad about you, will misunderstand you. Be bold, say, yes, I know that, and you can face the challenge. He continues, and most important, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. That means your sincerity, what you are in your own heart. The voice of intuition and your own inner feeling somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. So it's a beautiful suggestion to remedy our stress. And Einstein said a beautiful word. His quotation is beautiful. He said, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that it creates. It is created in the same level of consciousness. You live in the same level of consciousness, you cannot solve that problem. You are living in the dream consciousness, you cannot solve the problems of dream. In this waking state, we are in the waking state. The problems of the waking state cannot be solved by living in this state of consciousness in which we are now. You have to lift yourself. See, they are all philosophers. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. And another thing, we want to get success in every sphere. So, another beautiful quotation, one cannot collect all the beautiful shells on the beach. One can collect only a few. So we want to do everything in this life, in this period. Focus, rather be serious and attain certain success in particular way. And another important thing is Chinese proverb, ancient Chinese proverb. That's very important. I think it matches with our yoga and Vedanta very well. It says that the birds fly overhead. This you cannot stop. The birds of thought, conception, misconception, that will fly on your head. You cannot stop that. But that is a wise statement. That they build a nest on your hair, this you can prevent. But we are very happy to build a nest there. See, look at our life every day, look at that. You think something has happened, somebody has said, or you imagine something, and you build the nest there, and a beautiful house there, and you are trapped into that, and you die there. And we say, we blame the world, it is stressful. You take it, that's why it is stressful. You don't take, where is the stress? It is your own choice. This is very Vedanta. Huh? But we have not entered into Swami Vivekananda yet much. But you see, already we got some guidance which is so powerful that we must not allow the thoughts to make a nest in our head. And we day and night we sleep with that nest. We get up with the nest. We don't look the reality. We don't look what is behind this panorama of activity going on. Who is the power, who is the energy behind this, all this activity in me and in the outside world. But we are very pleased We become very happy to talk about our nest, what I create there, and justify. And we lose our inner peace and stability. So therefore, we are psychophysical beings, feel deeply connected to the body and mind. That is our present condition. We can never think, I am not the body. We can never think that I am not the mind. So naturally, whatever happens to the body, it affects the mind, and whatever happens to the mind, it affects the body. Those people who are having psychological problem, that affects their nervous system. It's very natural, all the doctors will agree with that point. So, it's a connection, physical body and mental body, they are interconnected. Impact of good or bad body condition affects the mind. And conversely, the good and bad emotional surges affect our whole system. We know all these things, but we don't think about that. How we are allowing our body and mind to be abused. It's a strong word I am using. We abuse our body and we abuse our mind, blaming the whole world. World is bad, he did this, he did that, society did that, environment did that. Yes, what is done, you cannot do that. You cannot change it. You have to go into the flow of the world as it is going. But you have to find your own instrument to keep your peace and sanctity of your own inner self. As is my common example I give, that you can go through the road which is bumpy and what is potholes and rotholes like Indian some roads, and you are driving and you go on, still you just entered into the car and you start abusing and being angry and mad and do everything. What will you gain? You will get more anger, more frustration, more negativity. You have to find your own means to travel to that situation, what is there, but be in peace. What is wise thing? Yes, some people may prefer to be in that situation, to curse and abuse everybody, and himself also, because he is all the time frustrated guy, till he entered into the car and comes out of the car. But one can enjoy. Okay, this is the way, let us have a swing. It is a fun. Or you improve your, what is called the spring of your car. That's the most realistic point. Spring of your car. Improve the spring of your car. Spring of your mind. Adjustability of your mind. How much you can take. How much you can ignore. How much you can feel that you are not subject to the external condition. So, we are obsessed with our identification, with our body and mind, and generally with material aspect of life. We get so much intrigued into it at the detriment of our soul and the spiritual dimensions of our life. We forget why we are here. We are here not for crying. We are here not to build a castle. We are not here to do anything but to be established in inner peace and dignity. We forget that purpose of life. Why we are born, we have forgotten that basic premises of life. As if earning money is the goal. Earning money is necessary for survival, but that is not the goal of life. Getting a good name, power, position, control, this, that, yes, that may be needed in your journey, but that is not the goal. Goal is to have that inner sanctity, inner purity, inner strength, indomitable power, which the world cannot shake. The main causes of our tension, anxiety, depression, fear, gloom, insecurity, peer pressure, etc., these are because of our identification with this body and mind. I am so identified with my mind and emotion. I have no time to think of anything else. I don't put myself into the other's mental condition. I've lost that capability. If you really can put your mind into the condition of others, as is a normal example given, if you put in your feet into others' shoes, then you know where it pinches. Then you can treat it differently. So this is very important point, that our tension, anxiety, depression, this environment outside will be there. It will not change for me suddenly. The world will be all heaven. That type of idea, Vedanta does not accept that idea. Vedanta does not say the whole world will become one day all holy, all pure, all good. All the people will be in samadhi. No, that never is going to happen. World will remain like that. One or two out of them will be in the level of that Jivan Mukti, the freedom. They will enjoy the freedom. External things will be there. It will be unaffected by that. So we are stressed out in our problems of life because we are overburdened with the problems. This, if we analyze, is because we think that we are lost, and we are thinking we have no hope, we have no light to see beyond, and we think that we have no support to protect us. Now, let us take it a frank question before us. Suppose some problem has come. We need to put this question before us, that what are we going to lose ultimately? Why stress? What will happen? Let us think about the possible loss or possible frustration which is coming forth. What? Ultimate point is we will die. Be bold to die. We die every moment. And still we create a fantasy of our death. And out of fear we cry and weep and try to escape from that. So the point is that if we need this question, are we only this body and this mind what we are thinking about it? And we'll lose means we will die, means the body will die, or what? Mind will die? Okay, then what? What will happen? So we are to reassert the ideas of the Upanishads that say that we are more than our body. All the changes which is happening because we pay too much attention to the body. That's why bodily, anything in the body becomes so sensitive. If the mind is lifted, a person who is absorbed in some research, in scientific research, he forgets about his food, he forgets the time, he forgets about his other responsibilities. It is the connection, we pay the value to this object, our mind thinks it serious, to be serious. When that is withdrawn from there, then you pay attention to other thing, the all important thing becomes meaningless then. So this is the Vedantic approach to think that we are more than our little body or little mind, and our ability to see things is much vaster. We look at the life in a very limited perspective. We live in moments. We live in the very tiny arena of our vision. We see as if little thing we give too much value, and the bigger thing we forget. Bigger thing is what? We are divine, we forgot that. And we live in little thing, very petty thing, which is today's seriousness is not tomorrow's seriousness. Today you are very upset. Tomorrow morning you are upset with some other thing. But when we pay attention to a smaller identity, then we forget the bigger identity of ourselves. That's why Upanishad declares, Nalpe sukhamasti bhumaiva sukham. There is no happiness in limited. And in limited there is limited gain. Limited frustration also. But when you reach our identity into the bigger perspective, what do you lose? What can you lose? If you are infinite, what there is to be lost at all? But it is too high a philosophy. Let us come down to our point that we are stressed out. But the stressed out, and what can be the possible solution of it? Let us see what we can think about that. Varied may be the means to manage the stress at the physical level. No doctrine, dogma, ritual or worship can solve this stress problem permanently, but only the spiritual thoughts. In a lower level, day-to-day life, we can think in this way to keep a positive thinking. Whatever we see, we approach, let us be very positive. Thinking negative, we create negativity in us and we become a bundle of negativity, and that negativity pushes us backward and to the point of stress and strain and loss, and to the ultimate detriment of the body, health, and the feeling of insecurity and other things come there. This thought is that we have to question a deep thinking that, okay, if this problem I have to face, I will face it. Let us be calm. Normally that is the normal advice given. When we get excited, nowadays we get angry, what they suggest? Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like up to 10. Meaning what? Pause a moment. Try to think a moment. Why are you getting so excited? So that patience is necessary. And to give our mind little scope to think a little bit. And point. See how we lose our ground. Suppose something emergency happens. Don't you handle that? Suppose someone is in accident. What happens? Do you not handle that situation at that point? But if one starts thinking 10 days before, going to the astrologer and seeing on that day there will be something will happen, and we, as we do, some people do, spend our time in brooding over that thought, then you are already half dead before the day comes. That means negative thought, negative forces, negative thinking. I am absorbing that. It has made me already weak. And nothing happens, even then I am half dead. Even the astrologer's reading fails, but I am dead by that time, stressed out. 10 days, which would have happened at the point of that accident. Suppose the bold person will say, okay, when it happens, I will see to it. That his or her suffering is for that moment. But very intelligent people who accept the stress beforehand, they enjoy the stress for days and days and days. We like that. Really. We want to be stressed. We want to be lost. We imagine things. We take this, not this challenge. Life is challenge. How to do. Swami Vivekananda says, no? Swamiji's Song of the Free. Swamiji said, when the soul is stirred to its inmost depth, great ones unfold their best. That means Those who have some metal in their heart, they will, when the challenge comes, the inner force pushes them up. This poem was written to Mary Hell. There is a big story, but I am not going to that. But Swamiji's few words, very inspirational. Let eyes grow dim, and heart grow faint, and friendship fail, and love betray. Let fate its 100 horrors send, and clotted darkness block the way. All nature wear angry frown to crush you out. Still know, my soul, you are divine. March on and on, nor right nor left, but to the goal. From dreams awake, from bonds be free. Be not afraid. This mystery, my shadow, cannot frighten me. Know once for all that I am He. It is like a bomb blast. Very powerful. But at least read this when you are in difficulty. It gives us energy and power. This is the don't expect the world will be all loving. Everyone will love me. Everyone will be smiling at me. Everyone will be praising me. Ah ha ha, you are so great. No. It will not. Accept that premises rather than the other premises, which we foolishly take it and they suffer. That's why Swamiji says, let your friendship fail and love betray. Let fate its 100 horrors send, and clotted darkness block the way. See, that is the boldness of life. Our life is meant to face these challenges and be bold and move forward. That is to overcome the stress. Crying and brooding over stress will not give. One darkness cannot remove darkness. And the light can only remove the darkness. Therefore, take this bold step. Swamiji is calling us. Let all nature wear angry frown to crush you out. Still know, my soul, you are divine. Just to tell ourselves, yes, the environment is difficult, the circumstances is crushing me down, and I'm totally to be annihilated as it were. But no, in me is that power. Hold on to that power. And from dreams awake, from bonds be free. If we bring Vedanta, we can give a big class. The dreams awake. Only one word. Swamiji's word. From dreams awake. This is a dream? No, I am not talking about dream, Vedantic dream. It is a reality to me. Vedanta can say it is dream. But for me it is real. But still, you cannot solve the problem, as Einstein said, living in the same consciousness. You have to lift yourself to a higher consciousness to solve the problem of this. A machine cannot solve its own problem. Some person who is different from machine with a consciousness can solve the problem of the machine. That's why a doctor can serve, who is separate from me, have a higher consciousness about my body, can treat my body. That's why the psychologist and psychotherapist, they, living in a different consciousness, looking at the problem of one person who is ruminating over his or her own thoughts, can suggest something. So we have to rise above. To be steeped into that problem and to get out of the problem is just a funny idea. It is not reality. Swami Vivekananda says that here is the test of truth. That is the point. Stress, strain, because you don't hold on to truth. Swamiji says, here is the test of the truth. Are you holding on to truth? What is the sign of truth? Anything that makes you weak physically, anything that makes you physically weak, intellectually weak, or spiritually weak, reject as poison. What a great solution to stress management. That, is it making you weak? Is it making you strong? Whatever you do in your life, if it makes you weak, just shun. It is like poison. Don't brood over that thought which makes you weak. Take that thought which moves you up, gives you a boosting to your lofty divine self. There is no life in it. It cannot be true. That which is negative, that's why Swamiji says, anything makes you weak, which is weak physically, that's poison. That's why when you become physically weak, doctor said, don't take this, this is not suiting your body, meaning it is poison to your body. Reject that. But when you cannot, then you get diabetes. Then you get cholesterol. What can you do? But if you reject as poison, your health improves. Is it not physically so? So mentally also. Really, we have to be very serious about our mental food we take. Any thought, don't glorify what thought you are powerful, oh it is true, it is. Truth is there if it makes you strong. If it makes you weak, this is poison. It's very simple formula, Swamiji's formula to stress management. 3 points. Is it making you physically strong? If it does not, reject as poison. Take that type of food. Food means not to the eyes, not to the mouth, but to the 5 senses. That is the physical food. And mental food, when your minds get polluted, you become weak and you become nervous. This Swamiji's idea, reject that as poison. Truth is strengthening. Truth is purity. Truth is all knowledge. Truth must be strengthening, must be enlightening, and must be invigorating. This means it is not like getting some tablet to get out or some antibiotic or some medicine, one dose, and then you are done out of stress. Stress is a rigorous act to get out of this stress is a rigorous struggle for the higher truth. Not living in the same realm, but get out of this point. This world is not for cowards. Do not try to fly. Sometimes we don't want to face the problem. We try to avoid and go away. But it does not happen. It catches you more. That's why Swami Vivekananda says, do not try to fly. And how to live in the life? You all know the principle. Swamiji is speaking here from the unselfish work, from the ideal of Karma Yoga, saying, look not for success or failure. Join yourself to perfectly unselfish will and work on. You have the right to work, but do not become so degenerate as to look for results. It's a very strong word he has used. We are always looking for some result. And Swamiji is saying, it is a degeneration of yourself to look at the result. Be bold, do your work. Result will come automatic. So, and if we can do that, what depression can hit us? I don't expect. Whatever comes, I accept. I did my best. Whatever comes, I accept. What best solution you want for stress management? It is not escapism. It is doing the best one can do with all energy, all force, mental force, intellectual force, and physical energy, but at the same time, keeping the freedom of the mind, not to be burdened with the stress and strain about the result. Whatever comes, I accept it. That is called detachment. That is called the state of mind undisturbed by what is happening around. It may not be pleasing. In our life, it is not that everything should be pleasing. We don't want pleasing things. We want things which is perfectly, will be blissful in our life. So, Bhuteshananda Maharaj used to say that what the thinking about, we are being stressed, we are going from back and forth from the highest peak of Vedantic understanding down to our day-to-day experiences. Again and again we are just playing back and forth to think that this solution may be hundreds of ways we can solve the problem. But take sometimes Vedantic, keep some weapons to handle the situation. Sometimes you can think about sometimes you can think about what is called the highest Vedantic thought. Sometimes you can think that is happening in body and mind, I am not related to that. Sometimes you think that what type of energy I will absorb, I should not absorb those thoughts. I will absorb only the positive thinking. I will pause a moment to think what this problem is coming before me and as it's making me nervous and stressful. So all different steps and different times, different condition of the mind. Sometimes we get, when we are getting stressed with different types of activity comes at a time. You say, I have no time, I cannot do anything. And how can I finish all this work? That makes the mind more agitated and the mistakes comes more and more. So there is one practical solution of getting out of this stress, what we nowadays call multitasking. Swami Bhuteshananda Maharaj used to say there is no multitasking. You do what you do, only do that. Because you are digressing your mind in 2-3 directions. As a result, efficiency is getting reduced. And because of the lack of efficiency, everything is becoming half done. And you know, that's why he used to suggest when suppose one of his attendant was hurrying up because Swamiji will have to go to catch some plane or something, and the things are still so many ideas, things to be done, and the attendant is running this way, that way, bringing this, and then he said, come down. Think that you have nothing to do only one thing, bring that here and put it here. The first work, finish that. You feel they have nothing to do in the world. Time is enormous, infinite time is waiting for you. And then you do the second, then you do the third, then you will make a priority and you can finish it. And if you are stressful, then you will do the same thing, it will take double time. It happens, no? When you are in hurry, you want to put your shoes, your right shoes will go onto the left foot is right. When you are trying to quickly run and you forget your ticket somewhere and you are running and you come back again. So you go back and come back again because mind is so busy, it has no time to think quietly what are the things to be done. So it was Swami Bhuteshananda Maharaj used to suggest that you think that way, that you have only one work to do. And do not live in the past. This is very common, every time we hear this solution. Don't live in the past. Our anxieties and worries, why? I had, once it has happened, I'm afraid of that. It may happen today also. It may happen tomorrow also. So, we live in the past and carry all this bundle of tensions and past experiences, good and bad, and then we live in the future. We never live in the present. Live in the future. What will happen tomorrow? What is going to happen this month? So we don't enjoy our life. This moment we are happy. What is the stress here? But we don't live in the present, that's why we don't feel the joy of it. we always carry the burden of the past, or we always are worried about the future. Therefore, these two segments, mind is split into two, and we are suffering either thinking of the past or of the future. You may say, yes, we think of past beautiful days, but tell me how many of you think beautiful days of the past? Most of the thing we think about what bad. Therefore, we strain ourselves, we stress out ourselves, and not enjoy what the present moment can give. So it's from the very mundane realistic point to the highest point, what am I to lose? If I am that infinite, I am in the body, but I am not the body. The mind is a tool of me. And why I am giving so much value to anything which the mind have received as a message? Why I am building the nest on my head? Let it flow, let it go. All the thoughts, let them fly and go out. Let it come and go. Why I am holding on, accepting that is positive, that is life-giving, that is giving the energy and strengthen your body, mind and soul. So, Swamiji's idea, stand on the truth and do not think that good and evil are two separate essences. Another solution. We think, why this bad is happening? The bad is not bad, because bad teaches us much more. We have to learn from our experiences. And bad is bad. Good is also bad. Why? Swami Vivekananda says, for they are one and the same thing, appearing in different degrees and in different guises, and producing difference of feeling in the same mind. So therefore, the deeds, even the good deeds, can find a man in great bondage. Therefore, do not bound yourself by good deeds or by desire for name and fame. Even good deeds are not good, because that also binds. Because it binds by name, your praise, your glory, and then you get stuck more. When people blame, we can get out of that, because we don't like that blame. But when people praise you, that is a greater bondage. It's a chain, Swami Vivekananda said in another place, it is a golden chain. Iron chain, you can easily give up. But when it becomes a golden chain, it is difficult. So anyhow, we have at random went here and there and tried to talk about tension and stress and some thoughts of what Swami Vivekananda said. And there are many ways. I will try to continue this, and that day I like to focus on Holy Mother and Sri Ramakrishna's point of view next month about this stress. But we are all stressed out. You are stressed out by listening this talk also. But the point is that we have to find some means to get out of it. That is the major thing, where will be our freedom. Thank you all. Om Tameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Shakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Thou art my mother, thou art my father, thou art my friend, my companion. Thou alone art my knowledge, thou my wealth, thou alone art my all in all, O God of gods. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all.